like a part 2 to the DA polishing tips video that I did earlier for you more advanced guys, you guys that are much more regularly using machines, you guys that have been polishing a long time and started on rotary, like me. Yeah, just more advanced stuff. And that's not to say if you're new to DA polishing you can't get something out of this video, but it will definitely benefit you guys that are more used to using it. Apologies for the sound. I really am trying to improve my sound, but it is pouring down with rain today and we're in a massive open workshop. So I'm in my detailing bay, I've got my microphone on, hello. Hopefully you can hear me, if not I'll have to do some jiggery pokery in the editing. Hopefully this rain will calm down. So yeah, more advanced machine polishing. So really where I'm gearing this is for you guys who've converted to rotary. So you'll remember back in the old rotary days, you know, when I started machine polishing 11, 12 years ago, you know, the polishes were very different, arguably paint was very different, and we only had one tool, the rotary machine, the scalpel, as my friend Larry at NYC called it. You know, the scalpel, which was really from the painting trade. So every technique that we had at that time was really based on avoiding the negatives of the rotary movement type, which are really avoiding holograms, reducing heat. And the other thing, all of the techniques we used at that time, most of the reason we used them was because we were trying to get around the inadequacies in the polishes. And that is to say, the way they were made up, and most specifically the abrasives, which were a diminishing type abrasive. It was before Unigrit or aluminium oxide type abrasives had even been thought of, really. So we were doing a lot with diminishing. So we did a lot in there, didn't we, to spread it out and to, you know, break the abrasives down when we wanted to break them down and to get the cut of the abrasives when we wanted to get the cut. So really the number one, so this is all based on, by the way, you know, when I'm going to do training courses with Rupes, I'm part of their Rupes training team, this is all based on stuff that I see every time. So we'll have, you know, I've probably done 8 of those courses now, and every time we'll get 10, 12, 20, 30, 50, 70 guys. So this is really common stuff. You know, I'm not giving away any super trade secrets. All of this stuff is out there, but you may not think you're doing it, and because it's stuff that your brain is just programmed to do. You know what it's like? Everybody's getting really great shiny paint. Everyone is getting good results. We just put our headphones in, and off we go. And we keep doing what we've always done. So what I want to do is challenge that a little bit for you here. So the number one thing, Dave KG is going to hate me for saying this. If you know who Dave KG is, hi, and I salute you because you've been around a while. Scratch the zenith method. When you are working with a DA polisher, and yeah, when you're DA polishing with pretty much any compound on the planet that's modern, bin the zenith. So that really has got like 3 sub-parts to it. The first one is none of this spread pass, please. None of this. Put your compound on and then, oh, I'm just gonna spread it around, or I'm just going to put the machine on 1 and just spread it around. And I'm not going to lecture you, I'm going to tell you the why, obviously, as well. So that was all based back when we had diminishing abrasives. And what you had to do was spread those abrasives out over the work area. Otherwise, if you started in the top left-hand corner, by the time you got to the bottom right-hand corner, they would all have broken down, and you get a different amount of correction. We are now using Unigrit abrasives. I've got Rupes Blue here. All of the Rupes compounds are Unigrit abrasives. All of the Maguire's compounds are Unigrit abrasives. I can't think of a modern compound that isn't. Some will have a tiny element of diminishing just to give them a bit more punch, the heavy cut ones, but the vast majority need to work this way. So the Unigrit abrasives do not break down. So you do not need to spread it all out. All it does is waste time. The second thing you don't need to do is do an initial slow pass. Again, that is geared at warming the abrasives up, you know, moving things, all of that. There's no need to. All it's doing is just burning time for you, I'm afraid. So set your machine. So in the Rupes system, we work at speed 4 as a baseline. So set to speed 4. We start it at speed 4. We do all of our work at speed 4, and then we switch the machine off, and then we polish off. Which brings me to my last point. No slowing down at the end. No final little tickle on speed 2 or something. We're all, I know how it works, we're all detailers, and we are, you know, naturally we think the longer I've got this machine on the paintwork, the shinier it's going to be. It honestly doesn't work that way anymore. All of those things were geared at avoiding holograms and getting the compounds to finish down, so to make sure we worked the, are these all phrases that you remember? So we're trying to work the abrasive and work the compound to make sure we've broken it down and that we've, you know, got it all to separate. With modern polishing compounds on a DA, there is no need to do any of that, and all you're doing is spending 3 or 4 minutes to do a job that takes 1 minute. So try it, and you know, I'm not the be-all and end-all. I'm not the master oracle. This system works for me, and this is how Rupes have designed their machines and tools to work, and it works. Anyone who's been on one of our courses will know it's, you know, the number of aha moments and people saying, crikey, this is revolutionary. It is. You can keep polishing with a DA the same way you polish with a rotary, and you will get great results. But to really, really maximise it, you have to think about what the movement is doing and what the abrasives are doing. So remember, most of the stuff that you're doing when you come from a rotary, most of the way you polish is because you're trying to avoid holograms. And this is DA. It's never going to hologram. Because of the random motion, that's the one thing a DA cannot do is hologram. It can put haze in, and it can do a few other things, but those machine holograms that we all know and love, it just can't do, which is why, you know, we love them. So you know, that all was under the brackets really of let's forget the Zenith method. By the way, when you pick your rotary back up again, remember the Zenith method because it works really well. But slow, you know, forget the Zenith method with a DA. The next thing I see people doing a lot is the arm speed. So we talk a lot about the variables during the polishing cycle. There's lots of things you're in control of: the speed of the machine, the speed of your arms, the pressure, the angle, all of those things. The big thing that I see people doing is they've got really fast, you know, they're trying to polish with a polisher, how you polish with a cloth. Slow it down. Again, it's a DA. We're not worried about heat going into the paint because it doesn't put heat in like a rotary does. So, you know, I'm going to start this up so it'll be, you won't be able to hear me talking, but I'll go fast. No, I wouldn't do that at all actually because that'll confuse you. What I want to do is just use a slower arm speed because you'll know if you've been on a course with me, the one thing I spend ages saying is slow your arm speed down. And what I say is, imagine you're, this is going to be really weird now, but imagine you're in the paint surface. Imagine you're looking up at the polisher. It's going to polish you more. The longer it stays over your head, the more it's going to polish you. So if you just run it over quickly, it's never going to do much to you, is it? It's not going to do you much damage or much, it's not going to hurt very much. But if it stays on your head loads, it's going to polish you loads. So less passes with a slower arm speed are much, much more effective. And what I mean by slow, this sort of speed. You know, this is what people do. Much more slowly, much more slowly. Try it. You know, I'm showing you how it's recommended. Rupes have done a lot of work with this. Marco de Inca, who invented the Rupes system, very, very clever Italian man. This is how he recommends you use the Rupes system to maximise it. I see all over the place, you know, DAs don't cut as much as rotaries, and they don't do this and they don't do that, and they're only good for this and they're only good for that. they require a massive technique change to get the most out of. If you do that and think about your technique, you know, they will do anything you want them to do in the world of detailing. So slow your arms down. And the final thing is shorten your cycle, and it's kind of tied into the Zenith method really. That Zenith method took us into doing these long, you know, 3-minute, 4-minute passes and lifting the weight up and all of this stuff at the end. It's a short cycle time. We've got nothing to lose with a short cycle with a DA. With a rotary, yes, we had to work the polish. We had to break down the abrasives to make sure that the abrasives were super small, and then we reduced our holograms. We're not trying to reduce holograms. This machine doesn't hologram, so you can shorten your cycle. That cycle I demonstrated right at the beginning of the film, I opened up with, that's where you want to be really. The area size, sort of 8 times your pad area. Really, it's like a 45-second cycle. One set of left and rights, one set of up and downs, but with a slow arm speed to make sure that you work everything, and that we don't talk about working the polish so much, we talk about moving it to its emulsion point. That's much more advanced stuff that we cover on the courses, but that's the point at which then the abrasives break out. And of course we've got residue, paint residue coming in, and it's the most important thing to realise is the longer you extend that cycle, the more paint residue you've now got in that mixture that's polishing the paint, and that's when weird things start to happen, like the finish tails off. So actually, if you extend the cycle too far, you end up polishing with much more paint residue, and that's when really weird things start to happen. You get haze, you get the finish isn't as good as you want. Very strange stuff happens with this. Way more than we can go into here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video again. Please post some comments. Is this the sort of stuff you want to see? I'm enjoying doing these, so I hope they help. That's the main thing. I really want to help you guys. Isn't it? Knowledge sharing. So hope it shares more knowledge for you and helps you in your polishing, whether you're polishing your car at home or you're a show car guy or whether you're a seasoned professional detailer. The final thing which I want to touch on is the IDA, which some of you will love. There's a lot going on in the background in the UK with the IDA. So one of the big things I've personally been working on with the IDA, and I was part of the founding group in the UK with the IDA. We were the first country outside of the US to get a chapter in the UK. Lots and lots of stuff's been going on in the background. We've been quiet about it because we haven't got anything to offer you guys with it yet, and we've been working away to make sure we have. So the first thing we've got is I am now well, there's 2 of us, but I'm the first recognised trainer for the IDA in the UK, and only the second one in Europe, and the other guy is Fabrizio from Rupes. I think we're the first 2 outside of the US, and to work out how to work there, that was difficult to get all that done. So we're now recognised trainers, which means we can now accredit you for the different levels within the IDA. We can now run day courses. We can now give you that professional structure that the IDA offers, and we can support you, which is the main thing. All of this stuff is designed to be able to support you and help you detail better, more quickly, earn more money, get better results, all of those things. So please ask me more about the IDA. Any machine polishing stuff, please ask me about. I'm here to help. So yeah, I'm going to close it off there. Obviously, if you're really liking this, and well, I said this on the last video, you probably aren't here right now if you don't like me or you don't want to watch this stuff. But if you do and you are watching, please subscribe. Click the bell, then you'll get a notification. Just works well for everybody then. YouTube shows my videos to more people get to learn this stuff. We've got more knowledgeable guys out there spreading the word, so that's great. So if you can click that subscribe, really, really appreciate it. Tag your mates in it, share it around, let people know, you know, we're doing these things. So thanks awfully for watching if you've come this far. And yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. So look, hold up, put it in the holder. Yeah, next video coming. I'm trying to do 2 a week now. I feel like I'm back in the groove of these. So got some mega cars. Do you want to see the cars? Do you want to see less of the cars? How do you want me to show you the cars that we've been working on? I don't know. But yeah, thanks very much for watching again. I hope it's not as wet as this where you are. Bye everyone!